Hello, this is SJ Talks and Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. I see that Sean Combs, they're going to be calling CNN, just breaking news. CNN just came on and said earlier today, said that P. Diddy is going to be, they're going to be calling witnesses to testify in an indictment hearing, something like that. So they must got a lot on him. They must got a lot on him when they raided his homes back in March. They must got some stuff on him. And I'm hearing stuff about trafficking and more victims are starting to come forth. I know a man filed a lawsuit, and this Caucasian young lady filed a lawsuit as well. So he's got more people, they're going to be calling forth, and they're probably going to call Cassie since she was the first one that filed. But he's got a lot of witnesses. There's a lot of people. There are people coming forth, bodyguards and hairdressers, and people are coming forth saying that they seen him do certain things. So there's a lot of people and other celebrities as well. This thing is messy. This thing is, it just gets worse and worse. Every time I'm sick of hearing about it, but at the same time, it's like a train wreck. It's like watching a train wreck. You don't really want to watch, but you're so shocked you look and watch anyways. It's like watching a freaking train wreck. It's this. It just gets worse and worse. It just gets worse. I mean, I'd be like, I just want this thing to be over with. Arrest him, do what you got to do with him so we can move on here. There's more. What about this war going on in Gaza? We don't. They're so busy talking about Diddy, all these innocent people and women and children and all these innocent people being unalived. It's so many more things going on in this world. I think it's definitely a distraction because that's all they're talking about. This guy is. They need to. What's the holdup? What's the holdup? They need to speed up the process and get these witnesses in there and haul this man to jail. Because at the end of the day, his witnesses or his victims deserve to have justice. They deserve justice at the end of the day. Cassie and his other victims, because there were other people. Then I don't know. It's a lot of stories coming out, so I don't know necessarily what to believe. But excuse me, they were saying something about he had some underground tunnels, and this gets messier. This gets messier and messier. He did some horrible stuff. It's just, this man is sick. But he definitely needs to be held accountable. And I don't want, another thing I wanted to talk about is, I don't want to hear this stuff about people. I noticed that people have been saying, trying to keep a black man or try to hold a black man down. You know what? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I've been thinking about all this over the last couple days or so. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear bringing the black man down. First of all, as black people, because the judicial system has a tendency to be, and American society as a whole has a tendency to be harsher on us, because racism is still at an all-time high in this country, and the judicial system and American society has a tendency to be harsher on black people, and it's a double standard. We all know this. Okay? It's the American way. It's always been going on. So as black people, we have to, because we know this, as black people, we have to watch our conduct. We have to watch our conduct and watch what we do and how we move out here, because we know 9 times out of 10, and there are exceptions, but we know that 9 times out of 10 that it's gonna be our things are gonna be harsher for us, and the judicial system is the playing field is not level in the judicial system. There's a lot of racism and systematic racism and discrimination in the judicial system in America as a whole. So we know that. So as Black people, we need to watch our conduct. We need to watch our conduct, keep our nose clean, and try to be. And sometimes when you're innocent, they, how many innocent Black men was gunned down by the police? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It happens. So sometimes you could be innocent and just maybe be at the wrong place at the wrong time, or run into the wrong cop, or whatever the situation, and still get in trouble simply because you're Black. And having money is, you still, at the end of the day, he's still a Black man in America. It doesn't matter how much money he has, he's still a Black man in America. He should be watching. Matter of fact, if you a Black person that has money, you should be watching your conduct even more. I would say even more, because you have more to lose. If you a Black person that is rich, you should be watching your conduct even more, because you got more to lose. A lot of his sponsors and stuff have pulled things. He don't have any endorsements anymore. They've pulled, all his sponsors just pulled him. So he's got way more to lose. And at the end of the day, you're still a Black man. And I think they get to a certain level of success and they forget that. And like I said, I don't want to hear this bringing a Black man down crap, because we can't use that as an excuse. We can't use that as an excuse. We can't always use racism or whatever as an excuse. We need to watch our conduct. We got to really watch our conduct. And we can't always play the race card. In this case, you can't play the race card in this case, because everybody's seen that video footage of him kicking Cassie down the hallways. And he actually did an apology video admitting that it was wrong. Okay, so we all seen that, and it confirmed what she had in her court documents, when everybody denied her. Everybody thought she was lying. Okay, so and he did some way more horrific things than that. So I don't want to hear this crap about keeping a Black man down. Just take that out your mouth, because in this case, the race card cannot be played. In this case, the race card cannot be pulled, and the race card cannot be used in this case. Because when you do something wrong and you break the law, it is against the law to abuse people, to abuse women. It's against the law to drug people and violate them. Those things are against the law, and he knew that. Okay? He knew that. So when you break amongst other things that he has done, the FBI, they got the more, as the old saying goes, it'll come out in the wash. More is going to come out. But they got something, because now they're wanting to call forth these witnesses. But it doesn't matter what race you are at the end of the day. You do the crime, you got to do the time. Okay? When you do something, there's consequences to our actions. There's consequences to everything that we do. If we make a bad decision and we break the law, we have to suffer those consequences. And he had to have known I don't know why he thought that he wasn't going to someday be held accountable. He thought that he can keep doing this stuff and not be held accountable. I don't know why he thought that. Maybe he's had so much money, he had a false sense of reality. Sometimes when they do get rich, they have a false sense of reality and thinking that they're going to get away with certain things. And God sees what you're doing. And eventually it's the chickens are going to come home to roost. And you're going to be held accountable. You're going to get caught. You can't just keep doing stuff and doing stuff and doing stuff, particularly when you're doing things to other people, and expect to not to get off and just get away with it, no matter how much money you have. And it doesn't matter if he's black, white, I don't care what race. This is not about race. At the end of the day, this is not about race. This is about a man that has clearly abused. It's abuse of power. He had a certain amount of money and power, and he abused that. That's what it is. It's abuse of power. It's just like when these cops go out here and they're unaliving innocent black men, beating innocent black men. You know what I'm saying? They're not following the proper procedure when they're arresting black men. Okay? It's the same thing. It's the same difference. And people want them to be held accountable. So it's not about race. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And he did some very disturbing things to people. And he needs to be held accountable. It doesn't matter what race he is. So I don't want to hear this crap about bringing a black man down. Because at this point, when black people say that, you're trying to play the race card. This is not about race. This is not about his race. This is about him doing horrific things to people and him being held accountable and the victims getting justice. That's what this is about. His race has absolutely nothing to do with it. And people shouldn't even be bringing race into this. This is not about race. People shouldn't even be bringing race into it. Race has absolutely nothing to do with this. This man did something wrong. And he broke the law multiple times, and he needs to be held accountable for it. So my main concern is the victims. My main concern is the victims get justice. Okay? Cassie and the other victims get justice. That's my main concern. People say, well, you shouldn't judge and everything. Yeah, but we can call it out. Let God be the judge. It's mighty interesting when people say that stuff when it comes to black men. But then we'll dog and judge black single mothers till the cows come home. It's interesting. This man did all these horrific things, and people will say, oh, well, I've heard people say that. No, at the end of the day, yes, it is God's judgment. But we can call it out and say that we are allowed to say it was wrong what he did. But people will sit up there. People don't give single mothers any grace. People will dog and judge single mothers till the cows come home. But then when it comes to this man, oh, well, let God be the judge. Okay, well, let God be the judge with single mothers too. It just grinds me. How people want to make excuses for, and this is the problem. This is a major issue in our community. People always want to make excuses for the men and want to give the men, show all the men all this grace. But they certainly ain't going to let a black woman off the hook for nothing. You want to lower the hammer on black women and hold us accountable all day and all night long and judge us all day and all night long. Okay? So I don't want to hear this crap about bringing a black man down, and people shouldn't even be letting that come out their mouth. This is not about race. And at this point, if you say all the horrific things that this man has done, at that point, if you say that, You're playing the race card. And that is not okay. He needs to be held accountable for what he did. And his victims deserve to have justice so they can have a peace of mind and begin the healing process. Because they can't properly heal if this man is still walking around and he hasn't been held accountable. As long as he hasn't been held accountable for his actions, then the victims can't properly heal. They can't properly heal because there's no justice has been served. So let him face his consequences for his actions. Let him face the music so his victims can have some closure, and they can have some closure, and they can have some justice. So they can begin the healing process. Because it's going to take a long time, especially Cassie. It's going to take a long time for her to get past this. She's going to be spending the rest of her life trying to heal from this trauma. It's trauma. And they can have some type of closure. Bottom line. So hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what you think about this indictment and the victims, witnesses being called to testify in a grand jury. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you ready for Diddy to face his consequences and this thing to be over with, and for his victims and everybody else to move on? Because I don't know about you guys, I'm sick every time I click on YouTube. I have to see this guy. I have to see his mug. Let me know what you think. Okay, hit that subscribe. Hit that subscribe, like, and share. And a notification bell, so every time I do a video, you'll be notified. And to the next video, you guys be blessed.